What if I told you that being called a nice guy is not a good thing? Welcome to What If I Told You, another version with this channel's past life kind of leaking into it, because I'm writing a book right now. It's called Stop Simping and Start Winning. And what this says, if a woman or women call you the nice guy, this is not a good thing. You do not want to be the nice guy. And there are a couple of reasons why, okay? Number one, the nice guy image is normally a front by men who don't know any differently, and they think that that if they play up a nice guy image, that it will get a woman to date them or to at least go out with them. This is false. And number two, they can smell right through it. You know, most women and most people in general, even everybody else around you, can smell right through it, that you're putting on a front to try to get a woman, and it never works. It almost never works. And so, and another thing is that if you're faking a fraud for the purpose of getting women, you likely will be a fake and a fraud in general across the rest of your life as well. So you do not want to get in the habit of being this way. And being the nice guy will often come off as desperate. And what happens to desperate men? They get put in friend zones. And if you've watched my previous channel incarnation before, the friend zone is not a place for friends. It is a place for women to use men who are being taken for their time and resources because they're being strung along thinking that they have a chance. And this is where most nice guys end up at, if they're not rejected entirely outright, which probably, if you want to ask me my thoughts around it, is the more humane result. Is to just be rejected outright. And so you don't want to. One of my favorite content creators in relationships, Anna Jorgensen, I'll put her link in the description again. She has a short on this subject. She says, "Don't be the nice guy, be the strong man." I couldn't agree more. You want to be a strong man with your standards and a life that goes beyond any potential relationship. Even when you're in a relationship, it's very highly attractive to have a life outside of the relationship. In fact, I think it's necessary. And for me, of course, that involves bowling. I'm about a 180 average bowler these days, and you want to have something going on outside of your life beyond any of that. My gym. I'm a member at the Snap Fitness here in town. And of course, I'm part of various activities within my church. Volunteering on weekends and also being part of a men's small group. These are all things that, and the men's small group is very important to me because it's time with other like-minded guys to have biblical study and to basically vent off of each other life's frustrations, which let's be honest here, men don't get a whole lot of sympathy from women as far as that is concerned. We don't get a lot of sympathy from anybody, but if we are going to get it, we're normally going to get it from other men. And so this is why the small group through my church is a very important part of who I am and what I do. So I don't have time to be the nice guy, because I'm too busy with my own life and building everything that I can within my life to have a full life. So no, I'm not going to be the nice guy, because I don't necessarily, a woman is a nice to have, and I think, we're designed to be together, but at the same time, my life doesn't depend on it, and I'm not going to be Jerry Maguire. The movie Jerry Maguire, he meets Dorothy and he says, "You complete me." Well, that's a bunch of hogwash. culture has taught men that being desperate and chasing for women is the way to go, and it's not. It's been that way ever since the days of Romeo and Juliet. Good old Will Shakespeare wrote an entire play around this. So it's been part of culture for hundreds of years. And so with that said, being the nice guy is not a good thing. If you're called the nice guy, you might want to take a look in the mirror and reconsider your life choices. Because this is not what you want to be known as. Take it from Anna. You don't want to be the nice guy, you want to be the strong man. So that's it for What Have I Told You? And the sympatemic version from the previous incarnation of this channel. As I continue to write the book, this will actually be chapter 6. So I'm going to be putting some more manuscript together this weekend. It's a long process. I didn't think writing a book would be this difficult, but it's taking a long time to even come up with. I've even come up with the outline and the material for each chapter, but even writing it all out into manuscript form is a pretty extensive process. So at some point I'll probably be sharing my tips on how I did this, especially if this goes anywhere. But anyway, this is Jason. See you next time, and peace out, homies.